everyone, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be a review, swatches, and demo slash tutorial on a new palette. This is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I mentioned this in my Sephora haul and I had so many requests to do a review on this and I was already planning on it. I'm just so excited about this palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. If you guys haven't seen my Sephora haul, I will link it down below as well as up here in the cards. You can go check it out. This palette just speaks to me on another level. These colors are absolutely beautiful. If you do want to see my review and swatches on this palette as well as how to get this eye look, then just keep on watching. I do have like a bunch of notes in front of me. A lot of how I really want to start reviewing products is like Stephanie Nicole. She is absolutely amazing. So I'm definitely going to be changing the way I review products just so you guys have the most accurate and detailed information about a product so you can make an informed decision on whether you want to get it or not. So I want to start off by talking a little bit about the brand. So as you guys know, this is by Huda Beauty. Huda is more of an Instagram brand that you can find at Sephora and also on her website. I know if you are in other countries that you can find her products elsewhere, but for me, I can find this at Sephora and she does ship to the US from her website. So Huda is from Dubai. She started in business and she had a huge passion for makeup. So she decided to kind of learn about the industry and learn about makeup and techniques and then started her own business. This is not Huda's first palette. She did come out with a Rose Gold Edition palette a while ago. I believe it was like a year or so. This was such a popular palette for a very long time. The packaging is very different as you guys can tell, which I will go into a little bit later, but this palette was not my absolute favorite. I just did not think the quality was worth how much this was. People either loved it or hated it. I didn't really like it that much, so I was hesitant to try this one. I heard great things about it and I also saw some amazing looks coming out of this palette. These colors just spoke to me like I said before. I just love the purples and the warm burgundy tones in here. I love the mixture of dual chromatics and this glitter as well. I just think there's so much you can do with this. This palette retails for $65. Do you want to talk about the packaging difference? So here's the front of the palette. I unfortunately already got rid of my outer cardboard box. You have all the information about the palette and then you open it up, you have a beautiful sized mirror, which I'm so glad she included one because there was not a mirror in the Rose Gold palette and it just didn't seem complete to me, especially for $65. The price of these is the same. I felt like you got shafted with this palette and the pricing and the packaging and everything. So this one comes with a nice mirror. It says Huda on it and then these are the shadows that are inside. I definitely think the weight of this, even the packaging weight, is just so much nicer than the other one. It feels more luxurious. And this palette was made in Italy. There are no parabens, sulfates, and no talc in this formula of eyeshadow. So these aren't very chalky to me and they do blend out really nicely on the eyes. Again, the one thing that really drew me to this palette was the color selection. I just think this is so unique right now. Huda says she was inspired by the Arabian Desert for the color selection and the combination of shadows that she chose. I think the combination of all these different shadows with all the different textures as well, you can create so many different looks with it. This is the one glitter you get in the palette. It's loose, but you do have to use a tacky base with it. To other finishes in this palette, you have 8 creamy mattes, 6 shimmering pearls, and 3 duochrome toppers. So you do get 18 shadows in this palette. Each of the shadows are 0.049 ounces or 0.05 ounces of product, which to me does seem pretty standard for an eyeshadow palette. I do want to show you guys the swatches before I show you the demo and get to my final thoughts on this palette. So I'm gonna go row by row and start with the top one. Here are the first 4 colors. The top one is Desert Sand, next is Musk, under that is Eden, and the last shade is called Amber. Here are the last 2 shades. Look at that metallic shade. Isn't it gorgeous? That one is called Blood Moon. This last one is a matte shade. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is spelled O-U-D. So there you guys have the first row of colors. There are 5 mattes in here and 1 metallic shade. Moving on to the next row, here are the first 4 colors. That top one is a duochrome shadow called Celestial. Next you have Nefertiti, I believe it's called. Next is Twilight, which is another duochrome shade, and the matte is called Amethyst. Here are the last 2 shadows for this row. You have a shimmering pearl and then another duochrome. The pearl is called Royal and the duochrome is called Retrograde, which is like a blue-brown, but it has a little bit more of a red undertone. And then there is the second row of colors. Moving on to the last row, here are the first 4 shades. The top one is called Cashmere. After that we have Angelic, which I believe is a re-promote from her Rose Gold palette. You also have that loose like pressed glitter called Cosmo, which you will definitely need to use a glitter glue with. And then you have another shimmering pearl slash or metallic shade called Turkish Delight. Last but not least, we have the last two colors, which are both matte shades. The red one is called Saffron and the beautiful orange is called Blazing. So there are the swatches of the very last row. So now that you've seen the swatches, I think you can tell why I'm obsessed with this palette. I was a little bit nervous when I was blending out some of the matte shades that they were a little bit patchy. You really just have to make sure you have a good eye primer underneath your shadows that you also set with another shadow. I don't really like to use an eye primer that is still tacky because I feel like the shadows will skip. So you really want to make sure if you do have a shadow primer that does remain tacky to set it with a powder. You can even use this one, Desert Sand, just to make sure you have an even canvas that is ready for shadows to blend on top of. Other than that, I have not had an issue with any of these. Like I mentioned, you do have to use a glitter glue or something really tacky underneath the Cosmo shade, which is that loose glitter. If you do not, it will not stick to your eye. It's literally just gonna fall off. You're gonna have a bunch of glitter underneath your eye, which I don't think anyone will want. I love the duochrome shades that are more like toppers, as well as the shimmering pearls. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. If you use them wet or with a tacky base underneath, they also become so much more metallic and just amped up, which I absolutely love. So I'm a big fan of this. I do love the fact that you have a cool tone shadow, which I did use today. It's more like a cool neutral tone, but a lot of these shadows are more on the warm tone side, which I know we have a bunch of warm tones out there, but I do feel like this palette is a lot more special than any just warm tone palette with like those burgundy shades and some like nude colors and browns. This has some beautiful duochromes which shift in the light when you move your eye, and you just have a bunch of different exciting colors in here, which I love. I do know there was an issue with a lot of people's palettes that they had a bunch of fallout. With my experience, I've not had any excessive fallout from just using my brush in it or even on my face, as you'll see in the demo. This palette does have fallout. I would consider it more of like a typical amount of fallout for an eyeshadow palette. My Mono Renaissance palette that I absolutely love from Anastasia does have fallout as well, but that's just because these shadows are so creamy and buttery, it just blends right into the eye. So I am a huge fan of this. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It is $65, which is a lot for a palette, but you do get 18 shadows with a variety of different finishes and textures of the eyeshadows, so it is definitely a hit for me. I give it 2 thumbs up. Again, the packaging is beautiful and I just love everything about it. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I did record a little demo using the palette to create this eye look today. I'll leave all the brushes and everything that I use down below. I know I'm gonna get some questions about my highlights, so I might as well just tell you now. It will be linked down below if you want to go purchase it yourself, but I got a new Oprah highlighter and I am obsessed with this. This is in the color Blissful. I was wearing Rodeo Drive in my last video and my cheeks literally looked wet, but this one is so freaking beautiful. It's like a champagne rose gold and it is just stunning. It is literally blinding and it's so creamy. So I just had to mention it because I know I'm going to be getting questions. I always get questions with my highlights, so I thought I would just like let you guys know the deets now. So I'm gonna stop rambling. I just want to show you guys this tutorial and demo. So if you guys want to see how I got this eye look using this palette, then just keep on watching.
I need an angel to save me from myself, holding my savior, keep my heart upon the shelf. Do you remember the things we said, the things we felt, calling forever? For every passing moment
for this review, swatches, and demo. I hope you all really liked it. I know so many of you asked me to do this video, and I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. Let me know down below on your thoughts on this palette, if you guys have it, if you like it, if you're planning on getting it. Also, let me know how you liked this review. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I do want these reviews to be more detailed, just so you all can make an informed decision whether you want to get these products that I am talking about or not. So let me know down below, or even give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you do subscribe if you haven't already, and do click the little notification bell. I know some of you have been missing my videos and are like, where am I? Definitely click that little bell so you get notified every single time I upload a video. But again, thank you all so much for watching this one, and again, give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. I love you all so very much, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!